Hi, ready?
Y'all both look beautiful. Of course you're ready, friends. How are y'all doing today?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
How are you, Jennifer?
I'm awesome. My Texas girls doing good. Is it hot as hell? Literally.
It's Hades over here.
Yeah, it's what Brianna, you said what, 120 degrees?
Uh-oh, is she frozen?
Uh-oh. Brianna, can you see us? Can you hear us? Okay,
Earth?
maybe she will unfreeze herself in a minute. But we are talking about solar panels in the heat of the summer, record-breaking heat across the United States. We're going to be talking about market conditions in Texas. We've got Rachel from Austin, and Brianna hopefully will be able to chime back in with us from Dallas. But it's fun looking at the real estate market trends across the United States. So thank y'all for joining.
Of course. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad. Finally, Rachel, it only took me a year of
I
getting
know,
on here.
right? I've been trying to coordinate this.
Yes, but I'm so glad. So yeah, well, hopefully she'll pop back on in just a second. So with solar panels, are you seeing that? And I know when we talked the other day, you're not really seeing a lot with solar panels, and we're not either,
Yeah.
to be honest. But have you found that they are adding value or not adding value in your area?
So in our area, so Texas is on, we did kind of chat about this briefly. So electricity here is, for the most part, it's not regulated, right? So our electricity is, for the most part, fairly inexpensive. So from that perspective, I don't really know that it's adding value or not adding value, but I do know that, and we haven't really honestly stumbled across a whole lot of solar panel issues. The one thing that I do know when it comes from like a seller side of things is that I don't really think that there is a whole lot of understanding about what that looks like when they do come to sell.
Oh, I think you're 100% right, which is the reason why this was an intriguing subject to me, because we've had 3 sellers in the past week that had solar panels, and then a lot of them don't pay cash for them. They take a loan out, right?
Correct.
And then the issue that we're finding are, at least for now, our appraisers are saying they're no value here. So, $60,000 worth of solar panels is one of our situations, $60,000, which sucked out of the equity of their home. Now they really kind of don't have much equity left.
Well, the other thing about that too, yes, absolutely. But the other thing too is that if the seller can't pay, so this is kind of the situation that we came into, is that the seller couldn't pay it off before they sold the property, right? So it was on the buyer to actually be pre-approved for that.
Yes.
Which is, that didn't happen, right? So the buyer couldn't get pre-approved. Anyways, long story short, we had to take the listing off the market. I mean, it just didn't work. But it's kind of a messy situation. And I mean, if you look at, not to get down to like geography and whatnot, but like in this particular area, like that particular area was, could be approved for down payment assistance. And it's like, if you're allowed to do down payment assistance,
that's right, where you're going to come up with $60,000.
How are you going to actually get approved for a $60,000 loan in addition to? So it's just kind of a messy situation.
No, that's exactly right. And we had one where we had the listing and the solar panels are starting to break off of the roof and causing issues. The solar panel company has gone out of business. However, the sellers are still paying that mortgage, for the, I was going to say mortgage, but for the mechanical lien on their house, right? They're still having to pay for it because they do have I'm sorry, Brianna's trying to pop back in, but it's telling me that her device is not hooked up to the internet. So sorry that I got distracted. But on this particular one, she didn't. There you are. There she is.
Oh, my computer crashed the moment you said hello. I am so sorry. I did everything you're supposed to do to prepare, and it crashed.
But that's all right. Thank you for coming. We were just talking about some of the stories with solar panels. So I was saying with mine, the solar panel company had gone out of business and the solar panels were having issues, although the homeowners were still making those payments because the payments were at a third party. And it was interesting that somebody just said, that was an insurance agent that said, don't get solar panels. So I'm not exactly sure what they're seeing with the insurance companies. So I'm going to have to look into that. That's going to be my step 2, is what are insurance companies? Do either of y'all have insurance issues?
No, I mean, like I said, in my career of real estate, I've really only come across this twice,
Yeah.
and it's been didn't work
Yeah,
out.
well, that's been us too. This is not, like I said, 3 times, but 3 times in 1 week, which is why I struck a nerve. Like maybe we should talk about it just to kind of see what other people are having. But right now, it's not adding value. And I think, I was an environmental science teacher, so I'm all about the environment and doing what we can to save it and protect it. So I think it's got a lot of good value if you have the cash. But if you actually look at how long it takes to pay them off, I
Yeah.
mean, it might save you, your electric bill might save you $100 a month, but holy cow, it's taken, 20 years to save $100 a month or whatever. What are
Yep.
you seeing, Brianna? Anything different? Are you seeing
Yeah,
about the same thing?
I think my answers would be almost exactly the same as Rachel's. Just being in Texas, we're dealing with the same thing in an open market with electricity or deregulated. And same. In my entire career, I've dealt with it twice. I think I've had buyers interested in a house, but not interested in the solar panels, and definitely not interested in overtaking that lease. And so that's an example of it really being a disservice to the seller. And I've had a seller who had installed solar panels like 2 months before he realized, or before he was told that he needed to relocate for his job to Atlanta. And he just had to take a hit and pay off that loan and have a much less profit on the sale of his house. So
Yeah, it's
I
a hard
haven't.
conversation to have with the
Yeah, I
seller who
think
they
it's
just invested $60,000 in something and then they were
yeah.
forced to move for whatever reason.
I think it could be the right option for somebody that's really important to them and they plan on being in this house forever. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's the majority of people.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. And it's interesting because in a couple of weeks, I am meeting with Chris Murray in California to talk with him about, because it's mandatory. They're mandatory in California. Any home built from 2020 newer. So it'll be interesting because when I asked him, he said, well, it's, like living where you live with no hurricane shutters. Part of what you do. But yeah, we have zero value here either. So then moving on, what are you guys seeing with the market? So if you look at like the 3 major indicators, right, as far as the market, how it's doing, everybody talks about the housing inventory, right?
Mhm.
And then the prices, and then the days on the market, just to kind of judge and guide what your market is doing. Is it more of a balanced market or buyer's market or seller's market? So what are you ladies seeing right now?
You want to start, Rach? Go for it.
Sure. So it's kind of funny because like us just talking about like going back and forth and seeing the differences between Dallas and Austin and obviously Wilmington, it's just been kind of weird, right? So in our market, things are slower. We're at like 3.7 months of inventory, which is up 1.6 months from last year. So it's still not at our like equilibrium of 6 months, right? But we're still, I mean, that's that's pretty big,
Yeah.
because in certain areas around Austin, it's a little bit higher, but then a little bit lower. But you look at Brianna's freaking Dallas, your months of inventory is like, what was it? 2.5?
It's now 2.5, up from 1.8. So it was just it's definitely an increase, but it's a 38% increase where yours was far more dramatic, just a few hours away from me.
Exactly. Which I think that also kind of is based on our average price. So like last year I was doing a little bit of research, and I think at the height, now this is back when, but at 2021, I think the height, our average price, and let me just verify this too, by like, this is based on Austin, like Round Rock MSA. So you're not really looking at surrounding areas. It's mostly central Austin, but our average, I think at the peak, we got to like 550, 580 for our average price point. And now we're looking at like 483. So we're still
So your prices have come down a little bit too then, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So our average days on market, well, I mean, not average, our inventory, we're at 2.1 month. So we were at 1.8 like you were, Brianna, last year, and then we're up to 2.1 this year. So we're up 16, 17%.
So fascinating. So you're still up, which I would think that most of the country probably is, but even less than Dallas. So I'm curious on your next stat how yours compares to mine, because while I compare like Dallas compared to Austin, so my market compared to Rachel's market is much more stable. It seems like, Jennifer, yours is even more stable. So I'm super curious to see how your median home value has changed with a small inventory increase.
Yes. So, and when we do all of the inventory, our prices have gone up. When we just do like year over year, it's gone up. It's 449 is our average, or our median, not average, sorry, median house value. And last year, same time, was 425. So it's up 6%.
Fascinating.
And again, that is single family. I'm just doing single family homes in my whole area generically.
Fascinating.
So what are you saying?
So in Dallas, we are down not very much. I'd consider it very stable, but at June of last year, Dallas median home value was 425, and now June of this year it was 410. So down a little bit. Nothing crazy, nothing significant. I consider that stable, but Jennifer's is actually up.
Yeah, ours, the only month that we went down, like if I look, so I've been doing this, every single Monday, so I kind of look at it a lot. But when I looked in December, our median price point was like $395. So we had, and it was like $425 in October. So in October, then it dropped in December, but now we've regulated back up to higher than we were last year.
Huh.
Yeah.
And range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so ours is down from last year. Median sales price is down 9%.
See, and I'm telling you, most people I'm talking to throughout the country, their sales prices have gone down a little bit, similar to what you're saying. I mean, just, a minutia of a point, but enough to be, significant to somebody. Whereas ours is still going up. So it'll be interesting to see. We should do this again in 3 months to kind of see if y'all are setting the trend or if I am.
Jennifer, why do you think that is? Why do you think against the rest of the country, contrary to the rest of the country, why do you think you've continued to increase in price?
So that is a great question. It is not location. I mean, we are definitely a destination location, and we're still relatively small and relatively inexpensive to be a true beach community. So we are an hour north of Myrtle Beach. We're three hours from Charleston, South Carolina, to kind of give you parameters, but along the same intercoastal waterway. Our prices are a lot less than Charleston. I think our atmosphere is similar to Charleston, and our prices are less than Charleston, which is nice. With the exception, I think we're a little bit more laid back. I think they have those huge Charleston plantation homes, which you don't see a lot of those here. So yeah, y'all need to come down and visit me.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yes. Y'all would feel like, oh, like it was fall day. Like it's like 94 here, but y'all were dealing with like
nice cool breeze.
Yes.
I literally think that's why my computer crashed. It's too hot in Texas.
That's probably right.
When you in your office, you've got all the windows pouring in right at you. I can imagine. UNCW. Both of my kids and my grandmother went there. So thank you. Shout out to UNCW. And I love me some Bob Little. Hey, Bob. But so then you're seeing your prices have gone down just a little bit. What about your day? And then your inventory is still relatively low. What about your days on the market? Have those gotten a little bit bigger?
Yes,
for sure.
Yep. I'm at 61 days.
Oh, wow. And what were you at last year?
So last year was 43 days.
Okay. And then what about you, Brianna?
Oh, I'm surprised to hear that last year you were 43 days, Rachel.
So like I said, it's kind of interesting. And I would need to go back and actually really look at this, because I'm going from what the stat is from June 2023.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, if I'm reading this properly, I'm thinking we were up 43 days versus 43 days. right?
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. If you're
I'm
60,
almost positive that's what it is.
to like the high teens, somewhere in the high
Yes.
teens, like, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
way more sense. So in just down the street in Dallas,
You
we're
said it was 2
currently
hours
at,
difference. What's the location difference of Dallas and Austin?
Let's say what, max 3 hours?
yeah,
3 and a
I'm like 3 hours north.
Okay.
Yep. But very, 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 very different vibes between Dallas and
Yes.
Austin.
Yeah.
Very different. It feels like more than 3 hours apart.
Yes.
So
I have only been to Texas once, and it was last year.
And it
When
was
I met
Dallas
you.
in
Yep,
July.
that's exactly right. In
and that
Dallas,
was
but
so lovely,
I thought I was
wasn't
going
it?
to melt then.
Yes.
Well, South is
sad.
even worse. And Houston is like literally it's soupy.
Super.
Oh, that just sounds gross. What was your age, Brianna? I'm sorry.
Okay, so we in Dallas currently have 41 days on market. Last year, the same time, it was 23 days on market. So those numbers all make so much sense together, right? To go from 23 days to 41 days, a small price drop and slightly longer absorption rate or inventory. So
And a little bit longer days on the market. So then do you think, so one of the trends that I've seen recently, so I've been in real estate since 2007, but typically, coming here, we might have 5 or 6 closings a year out of 200 that would be paying cash. Recently, it's been more like 50% paying cash. And so when I'm asking people like, where in the world is all this cash coming from? They're feeling more confident about the real estate market and less confident about the stock market. So they're taking their investments out of the stock market, putting it into a house. But what are you guys seeing any kind of trends as far as the lending institution as the interest rates have risen? Don't speak too fast. Or what are your buyers saying? Like, are you getting kickback? Like, I'm sorry, I can no longer afford, or are they borrowing from their parents? Like, what is that? What are the consumers in Texas doing with the interest rates rising?
great question. You want to go first, Rach, or you have?
Yeah, that's good for me. So especially here, I would say that I think there was a stat that almost, it was an absorbent amount of people that came from California. So I think it was 2021, almost 50% of the people that bought in Austin were out-of-state buyers.
Oh, wow.
And majority of them came from obviously the Bay Area, right? San Diego, LA, San Francisco. And so that buyer is, especially coming from over there, they have the capital and the money to spend over here, especially if they bought a home. So what we saw and what we're still seeing now is if people are, like I just showed an investor that his son's going to UT. He wants to buy an investment property and he's like, hey, I've got cash to spend. I'll do up to $500,000, just to get,
That's a good parent. Holy cow. My parents never spent that
I
much.
know, right? I'm like, wow, I really had to scrounge for my, living quarters. But so, it's like, I think the buyers that are here, they have money to spend, the 20-30% down, possibly buying down that rate, whatever that looks like. On the outskirts of Austin, where new construction is plentiful, where these buyers are buying down their rate, they're getting, into a home. I think that's more of, the buyers that may be first-time home buyers, right? And they're doing financing things of that nature. So,
wow. What about you? Are you having people say? Because a lot of times what I'm having sellers say is, well, and I think this is kind of trending what I've heard a lot of people say across the United States, when the sellers don't have anywhere to move because the prices have gone up, and they need a mortgage, right? They want or need to get a loan, but now they're battling that interest rates and prices.
Yeah. So that touches on exactly what my answer was going to be is I personally am seeing a lot of people that don't need to move being much more reserved and taking their time, as they probably should. That's fine if they don't need to move.
Right.
Expecting that interest rates will come down in the next year, although not crazy significantly, not to rates that we saw the past 2-3 years. Right. However, the buyers that are not yet in the market. So either they're first time buyers and they do not yet own property, or they need to move into Dallas from somewhere else. They're just having to buy at a more moderate price, which is a good thing. And I've been coaching people I've been coaching buyers and saying, hey, these rates historically, they're not crazy high. Okay. Like if we look over at historic, these are very
historic is more than the past 10 years, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. More than the past 10 years. Just talk to your parents when they first bought a house. Or
You're right. If you look at like a 50-year, I mean, the average is 6%, right?
Yeah. Or talk to anybody in another country and they think that 6% they would fight for a 6% interest rate. So not only that, but if and when interest rates do come back down, all of those just want to and not need to moves, they're going to move. Okay. Yes. And what happens then? All of these numbers we just talked about, they change.
Out the window.
Prices increase because the competition increases and you're going to be paying more for that house and you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you just buy a house now that you can afford with today's interest rates, and if and when that happens, and you can what's the word I'm looking for? Refinance. You can refinance or you can move or whatever. But the third point though on that is the interest that you're paying reduces your taxable income. Like, let's remember that. This is not a reason to
tax write-offs you have. That's right.
If you're not in the market, you need to get in the market and not let that interrupt you. If it's just it would be nice to move up. Okay, I could understand that.
Yeah.
But if you're renting, that's 100% interest that you're paying, right? Because you're not getting any of that. So, I mean, certainly, and around here, average rent's like $2,400 a month. So that's a lot of money, $50,000.
And you can't write that off on your taxes.
That's exactly right. Or nor are you saving it. You're literally just throwing it out the window.
Right.
Now, I tell everybody the same thing. I mean, I think, you're talking about generational wealth, and real estate has always historically been a safe place to invest. And it's not, it's more than just, it can be an investment. It's a great investment, but it's also like, who you are.
Yes.
It's like your home. It's like a child.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I think we hit on then what you're telling
Jason. He's making fun of me.
Well,
we're all professionals here, I promise.
But with the refinancing, a lot of lenders, most lenders I'm talking to right now are offering 5 years to refinance for free, where they're not charging anything to do that. So then that, saves you what, $5,000 or $6,000, $10,000 whenever you go to refinance that. So that's, they're trying to make it reasonable.
Yeah.
And then what do you give? He's telling me, sorry. Thank you, Jason. What advice can you give like new agents out there? Because, new agents had gotten in the market when the market was a little bit easier. And then now that we're in a shifting market, which it's shifted a lot in the past 12 months. Holy cow. It's been a lot of shifting. What's the advice that you give agents?
Go for it, girlfriend.
Okay. Well, I'm not a broker owner or anything, but I am really passionate about new agents and just coaching people up because I truly, truly care. And I feel like there's so many ways to lose that I really care, and I get super passionate about it. And so my best advice and what I've done and is what has brought me to where I am in my career is just loving on people. You have to love on people. You have to keep track of who your people are, set up a system so that you're consistently loving on them. And that's it. And it's not, okay, I shouldn't say that's it. It's not as simple as that, but that's the foundation of it. Yeah, consistently love on your people.
That's right.
Position yourself as a subject matter expert, which you
the professional, absolutely.
You definitely should be.
Relationships.
Build relationships and set up a system so that you're building relationships
you don't forget them.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah. That's right.
And that's my best advice is work your database and ask for referrals. I used to be so shy to ask for referrals, and I'm being coached to do so now, and am realizing the unbelievable impact it makes. I just, a couple days ago, was at a listing appointment, and these are past clients of mine. I helped them buy the house that now I'm talking to them selling, and I wrap up the conversation, and I just asked, I said, before leaving, I said, hey, do you know, like very directly, do you know anybody else that we can help that needs to buy or sell right now? And they stopped and they pondered and they talked to each other. And they said, yes, I think so-and-so and so-and-so, and we'll get them connected to you ASAP. And I'm just telling you, like, that I wish I had learned earlier on in my career, because it's not hard. If you do a great job, these people love you. They want to help you. They want to see you succeed. And truthfully, the majority of the time, they don't know and understand how to do that. So you're helping them help you. So,
that's right. And
okay,
I think that's a good point too, because when I was first new into real estate, I found it to be hard to ask my friends and family for
Totally.
referrals. And now, to be clear, if somebody doesn't refer me, I'm like,
To be clear.
what just happened? Like, I will quickly unfriend you. No, Jesus, but I kind of do.
No
At
longer
least
I
you
will.
don't have to hire me, obviously, but I think it's important to give me a chance, especially if I did a good job by you, then to refer me just for somebody to interview me. I'll get the job on my own, right? Give me the opportunity to be interviewed for the position.
Yes.
And
Love
of
that.
course, they would use the three of us because we are the best in our local area with the most experience and knowledge. So, I mean, I'm trying to add the comments in as they come in. Referrals. Actually, Jason, he just wants his little spotlight.
His 10 seconds of fame.
Yeah, that's exactly. Love you, Jason. So agree. So you're telling people basically, if I'm hearing you right, the market is starting to stabilize in both of your areas, respectively, though, right? Where it's like a little bit longer days on the market, the prices are kind of leveling off a little bit. People have a better chance, so you're not in quite the competition that you were last year. So it is a great time to buy. It's still a great time to sell because your inventory is still low. So that need is still there, and people are still buying. And then as far as your agents, work your system, get a system in place and work your system, constantly building relationships and loving on the people that you have the relationships with.
Yeah. And the other thing too is if you're new in this business, and I think like coming from, obviously Nimesh's team and the whole 9 yards, find yourself a mentor. If you don't want to join a team, find yourself a mentor, because, I can say it over and over again, and Nimesh says it over and over again. And it's like, go back to the basics, which it is true, right? There's basics of this business, but if you haven't been in this business for very long, you don't know what the basics are.
Yeah,
so find yourself a mentor that can, say, hey, this is how you make a phone call, or this is how you create a relationship, or just get back to the basics, and don't be afraid of the uncomfortable, because everything about this business is very uncomfortable.
You know what? Amen, sister. And about the time, I mean, you are talking like dirty grit stuff when you're listing somebody's house and you're going through their financials and you're talking about solar panels and you're talking about, the beautiful wallpaper that they decided to put up 32 years ago and, whatever. So, I mean, you're having these hard conversations. So you need to have those hard conversations up front, to set those expectations, right?
Yeah, because that's how you win. If you set the proper expectations with the client, with, whomever, right, in this business, then that's how you win, because you look like the, winner.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I piggyback on that, Rach?
Totally.
I was told in seeking a mentor, I've been seeking more mentors lately in the past year than my whole career, and it's changed everything for me. But in that, one of them told me, as he was coaching me through, hey, how do I not work all the time? And because that's a really real problem in our industry. And I no longer work all the time, but he helped me get there. And in helping me get there, he told me, he said, hey, people expect what you tell them to expect.
Totally.
So you just need to set that expectation up front. This is what it's going to look like. This is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do. And guess what? You no longer have to work on Sundays because you set that expectation up front and they totally respect it.
100%. I have never had someone say, oh my God, you're going to do what on Sunday for an hour? Like, I'm moving on to the next agent.
Yeah,
I've never
it's more. Yeah, I think it's more along the times if you just go MIA, right? If you're not not setting those expectations, back to on point to what you said, if you're not setting it, then they're like, I'm calling her at 11 o'clock at night. Why isn't she answering? But if you tell them up front, hey, guess what? I go to bed at 9. I'm not going to answer my phone after 9. Just, you know, these are my working hours, which you can find me anytime from really 8 until 8. But, and not on, I'll usually take one day a weekend off, but it does vary which day. But I think you're right, setting those expectations and people will respect you as the professional you are. Right?
Amen. Yes.
Yes. Amen.
I would have understood that sooner.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Right. Let's see. Everybody needs mentors for each other, teams, agents, leaders, brokers, CEOs. I 100% agree. The mentors are, and you're right. I always, and that, which is part of what made me do these live Monday broadcasts, was to reach out to agents like y'all and learn from y'all.
I love this.
I love it. Yes. Thank you for including us.
I'm so glad that you.
I'm so honored to be with Rach.
Oh my God, whatever. I'm over here like, okay, I gotta get it right. Like I'm with freaking Jennifer and Brianna. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm like, how is she making this really good eye contact? Like, where is she looking?
Wait, who?
You.
Oh.
Really? Not like you were just looking into my soul.
Well, sometimes I have to remind myself to look at the camera.
Yeah, I find that when I do, then I have like a blank stare because I'm just looking at the camera instead of looking at your beautiful faces.
Oh,
well, anyway, it was a pleasure, ladies, and thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you.
Thank you. So much fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad. It was good seeing y'all. Hey, what's the next conference you're going to?
I am actually attending Elite.
Woo-hoo! You there?
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. And there is a t-shirt 2.0 that will be coming
with your face on it. With your face too?
I can't give out the secrets.
Okay.
But
wait.
Yeah. Well, it'll be good. So Grayson, my daughter, and I were going to wear t-shirts in today, but then she left on me early because we were going to have like the "if you know, you know" t-shirts on.
Oh my God, that would have been so good.
I know, but she was like, yeah, she left early, and I brought, whatever. They're cute t-shirts.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay, what conferences are y'all going to?
So I am going to Elite, and then some friends are doing a Remax in Orange Beach, Alabama.
Nice.
Later in October. And then I was thinking about going to the tri-state event, which is New York, New Jersey, and I don't know what the third state would be. In December, I heard that was a really good one because a lot of the New York, New Jersey people moved to Wilmington, right? Nice. So that's a huge influx because it's right along the East Coast. So Wilmington is actually, it's a fun fact, in the middle between New York and Florida. So when the New Yorkers are heading to Florida for the summer, they usually stop in Wilmington. We're literally halfway. So they call them halfbackers. When they move here, they come here to visit and then they stay because it's way
They stay.
Yeah. We love them when they stay. We love them when they stay.
Yeah, it raises your home prices.
Yeah. But it's always fun because they move here and adopt the Southern culture. It's always funny because I still have such a strong Southern accent. And when I see one of my clients that bought here 4 or 5 years ago, and they're like trying to use the word y'all, they're really accentuating their new form Southern accent, which I can't tell, but they do adjust to. We're definitely a slow pace. We're a beach community. It's a slow pace community. We wear flip-flops 12 months out of the year. Most of the time we're going to wear shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, we're just rarely where you see, even at closings, like attorneys, we have attorneys saying are not going to dress in a suit and tie. Like rarely do people really dress up here. All of that to say they move here from up north and then they join our slower pace.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because just to talk about that too. So Austin and Houston, there is a pace difference, honestly. And so when I moved from Houston, it's like road rage
Yeah.
central. And like when I moved to Austin, it's very kind of chill. People just don't really like drive that fast. And going back off of like the clothing, like people are very chill here. And so I would, come full fledged and it's like, okay, girl, you've dressed way too much. Just chill
Wow.
out.
Well, that's funny because I went to high school at an all-girls boarding school in Raleigh, and whenever I go back to visit Raleigh, which is our state capital, and it's only 2 hours from here, but they dress totally different than we do. I mean, they are like in their professional wear every day, all day, and I'm like, I think I need to buy some new outfits.
Yeah. No, it is.
Sounds
It's
like
very-
Dallas.
Yeah.
It sounds like Dallas. I would never show a house in flip flops ever in Dallas.
Yeah. And here, yeah.
You're like, I would never do that.
I have heels today, and that's just a normal day because I showed a house, and that's just
Yeah,
normal.
no, I have flip flops on. I went on 3 listing appointments. I got all 3 of them in flip flops, but I look cute from like this part.
Get it?
But I like wearing the heels too. But when you get older, that's a whole nother issue. You can't always wear heels. Anyway, well, I need to come visit y'all. So I've never been to Austin, but I heard it was fabulous.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So much to
And I
do
went,
here.
yeah, I've heard that. I've never been in Dallas. I enjoyed last year a bunch.
Yes. Enjoy to have you
I think
there.
it'd be hot. I
You're
think I'd
here.
rather go in like December.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty
Springtime.
cold in December, though.
It
Does
can
it get
be.
cold?
It
does
can be
get cold,
cold
yeah.
in December.
Here, it doesn't usually get cold until February. Usually February and into March. But by March, I'm always like, oh my, I'm over this weather. But usually, this year was super weird. But usually by the middle of March, we start getting warm, and by April, we can get back to the beach. So. But not as hot as y'all.
Enough.
Yeah.
We're on like water conservation down here, so
Well, yeah. Well, probably because everybody's sweating it out.
I mean, seriously, like it's
Like I need more water. I'm gonna drink it all. I'm dying.
yeah.
Anyway, well, I love y'all and thank you for your time. And I will see you, Rachel, in October. That's what just.
I'll be there too. I will be there. I wouldn't miss it. Girl.
Of y'all. Yes.
Very excited.
And I was gonna say Dana Point, but that was last year. Where are we going this year? Florida.
Marco Island.
Yeah.
Island.
Where are we going?
Where are we going? I just. Yes, I'm excited. So are y'all going to any other conferences? I think I've become a conference junkie because I was actually looking at one for property management too in October.
Oh, wow.
October. I know. But we are starting a property management division. So.
Oh, very nice.
That's awesome.
I'm going to learn it.
Yeah. Well, Texas has top 500.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's where you said when?
Where is it? It just came out. I don't know where it is. Where is it, right?
Girl, I don't know.
I have 2 small children, and so I am trying to minimize. So like elite is a non-negotiable, like there's some non-negotiables. I felt like Texas top 500 is very negotiable. So I don't think it'll go
yeah, totally. I agree with that actually. And I don't know. I think maybe it's a save the date. Yeah. I don't know. I know the 500, the top 500 agents came out, but I don't know if anything specifically has come out yet.
Well, that will be fun. And maybe it'll be in Dallas, Brianna, then you could go.
It was in Dallas
Oh,
last
that's true. That's true. I doubt it. I was there. Yeah, I was here last year, I think. I didn't even go when it was in Dallas last year anyway.
But there's only like really 3 big cities that it could be in. So
yeah, that's
I
true.
guess maybe San Antonio.
That's a great point. It was San Antonio a few years ago.
That's true. Oh, September 14th through the 15th in Austin. Thank you, Brenda.
I guess Rach is going.
I'll be there.
Maybe I'll fly down and join you.
Yeah, girl.
Do it.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Well, so I'm hoping to go to the Barbie movie tonight if I can make it. So I'll let you know if it's any good. I heard it was good, but I'm excited to see it. And then I had my first grandbaby, 3 days. She's 4 days old.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations. Oh my
She
gosh.
is absolutely
Congrats.
perfect. I cannot tell y'all. She is, other than she cries a lot right now. So my daughter is a lot of anxiety, but she is perfect. She's perfect.
Aw.
Not
That's
that I'm
the
biased.
best thing in the world.
Yeah. But one of the funny things
Not
that I
that I
will
know
say,
of it.
my daughter, when I went to the hospital, Allie, my daughter, when I went to visit her, she said, Mom, she was like, you are so critical about everybody and everyone, and you are 100% honest. So am I just being like just googly eyes, or is this baby perfect? And I looked at the baby and I was crying. I was like, she's perfect. She is perfect. Can't pick anything wrong out. She is perfect. So
That's so sweet.
yeah, she's
Mm.
6 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oh,
Yeah. But anyway,
So cute.
so
congrats.
yeah, today was my first day at the office without her. She is my everything. Like literally, she does every single thing for me. So it's been a little crazy around here trying to figure it out.
Oh,
But yeah, absolutely. Well, y'all go have a good evening, and I can't wait to see you in October.
yes.
See
Enjoy your
ya.
Barbie movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yes, please do.
I'm sure you'll let you see. I'm sure. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.